Welcome to the Potato Museum show. What do you got there,
Look
Meredith?
what I got here. This is what has changed the world. Frozen potato products. These, of course, are frozen French fries, originally supposedly from Idaho.
Yeah, and
But
before
if you want
before
me
they
to
learned to
turn
freeze
it,
potatoes, everybody bought fresh potatoes. They
yes,
cooked
and
fresh
everybody
potatoes.
cooked them and so
Now,
on.
50% of all the potatoes grown in the U.S. are frozen.
And for that, we can blame. Talk about
These two gentlemen.
Olof Pierson, a Maine native, who was an electrical engineer after serving in the Army, and he
was educated
was asked
at MIT, right?
he was asked to come up with a way to can potatoes or do something to produce. And he said, why bother with that? Let's freeze them. And so he figured out a way to freeze potatoes. He invented the machinery himself.
Yeah.
And they began to call it Quifbo, quick frozen French potatoes, French fried potatoes.
He went on to advise countries all over the world on how to process potatoes, sponsored by the UN. And here's little Mr. Maine Potato as a whiskey bottle. I like to think of Olaf as Mr. Maine Potato. But,
and over here, who's this guy?
And this is J.R. Simplot, who many people refer to as Mr. Spud. This is the guy who actually took the technology of freezing potatoes and turned them into a global enterprise and business, and we're going to see a little bit about him.
JR's first home was in Declo, Idaho, on the Simplot homestead. He struck out on his own raising hogs at age 14. With the money earned, JR bought horses and farm equipment and leased acreage for growing potatoes. In 1929, JR formed the Simplot Produce Company with headquarters in Burley and had become Idaho's largest shipper of fresh potatoes and onions by 1941. After buying a prune dryer that he and his crew converted to process dehydrated vegetables in Caldwell, the new business rapidly grew to become the largest of its kind. JR built his own fertilizer manufacturing plant in Pocatello and discovered a nearby source of phosphate rock that would act as feedstock. After approving the request to run experiments for freezing potato products, a new industry was born, frozen foods, with JR leading the way. He always said his success was due to the fact that he hired good people and turned them loose. Farming was near and dear to JR's heart, but ranching and cattle were not far behind. He started buying cattle in the mid-1950s and stayed with it for the rest of his life, acquiring ranches and herds whenever he found a big spread for a good price. JR was a lifelong champion of the potato. In the 1950s, he encouraged Gem State growers to use only certified seed and headed a nationwide campaign to promote Idaho's spuds. His handshake deal in 1963 with McDonald's founder Ray Kroc was a key factor in promoting the widespread use of frozen potato products. JR.
Okay, so this man, Ray Kroc of McDonald's, responsible for worldwide eating of these products. They're fried with a questionable whether responsible for the health issues of a global population of people with obesity issues.
We don't eat these, but Tom wanted to show one on the TV, so he bought this at our local supermarket, and it says on it, distributed by Flagship Food Group Eagle, Idaho. But then if you go closely, you will see that this, incredibly enough, is a product of Egypt.
An example of the globalization of the potato, globalization of processed potatoes. People worldwide are eating French fries. People who never ate potatoes or French fries at all in all sorts of developing countries, China and
people
India.
love them.
They love them, but they're also...
They love them.
They have some health issues associated with them. So anyway, thanks for joining us at the Potato Museum show, and we'll see you next time. Oh, if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, even if you don't like what we're doing here.
All right.
There's my dog.